Kunja Bihari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Bhalabha Girivardhari. Yashoda Nandana Prajajana Ranjana. Jamuna Tira Vanachari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Bhalabha Girivardhari. Yashoda Nandana Prajajana Ranjana. Yashoda Nandana Prajajana Ranjana. Jamuna Tira Vanachari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Bhalabha Girivardhari. Gopi Jana Bhalabha Girivardhari. Yashoda Nandana Prajajana Ranjana. Yashoda Nandana Prajajana Ranjana. Jamuna Tira Vanachari. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Vivo. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Gaura Nitai, Gaura Nitai, Gaura Nitai, Jai Gaura Nitai. Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Baladev, Jai Subhadra. Jaya Radha Balava, Radha Balava, Shri Radhe. Jai Radhe, 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 Jaya Shri Radhe. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Jagattarini, Ostoter Sata Shri Śrīmad, His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Jagattarini, Ostoter Sata Shri Śrīmad, His Divine Grace, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Shri Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shri Vas Adi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Go Gopinath Shamakund Radhakund Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Shri Mayapur Dham Ki Jai. Shri Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai. Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai, Tulsi Devi Ki Jai, Jamuna Devi Ki Jai, Ganga Devi Ki Jai, Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Gaur Premanandi, Hari 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 Bol. So, we're continuing with the prayers of Queen Kunti, and for those of you who were here yesterday, we're not reading every verse. We've got 3 classes, so we chose yesterday 3 verses at the beginning of the prayers, and now 3 verses in the middle of the prayers, and then we will hear verses at the end of her prayers. So her prayers are very intentional. Her intention is somehow or another to get Krishna to stay, to remain with her in Hastinapur. Actually, don't need this. Okay. Her prayers are meant to try and get Krishna to stay with them. And she's so intent on having Krishna's association that she doesn't even think that the difficulties that she has undergone are difficult. Because the fact was, in the balance of things, because of the difficulties, Krishna remained. And because Krishna remained, the difficulties weren't difficult. So there's a very important lesson in this section for ourselves. So we'll begin with this verse, text 23, Canto 1, chapter 8. Yatha Rishikesha Kalena Devaki Kamsena Rudati Chiram Surapita Pita Vimochitaham Chasa Atmaja Vibhu Tvayeva natena muhu vipadganat Yatha Rishikesha Kalena Devaki Kamsena Rudati Chiram Suchapita Vimochitaham chasahamaja vibhu Tvayeva natena muhu vipadganat Yatha Rishikesha Kalena Devaki Kamsena Rudati Chiram Suchapita Vimochita Hamcha Sahatmaja Vibhu Tvayeva natena muhu vipadganat Yatha Rishikesha Kalena Devaki Kamsena Rudhati Chiram Chitapita Vimochita Hamcha Sahatmaja Vibhu Tvayena Yavita Muhu Vipad-ganat. Yatari Keshasha Kalena Devaki. Kamsena Rudati Chiram Suchapita. Mochitam cha savatmanad vibhu. Tayevanatena muhu vipadganat. Yatha Hrishikesha kalena devaki. Sena rudati amita pita. Vimochitam cha sahatmaja vibhu. Tayevanatena muhu vipadganat. Ladies? Yatha Hrishikesha kalena devaki. Kamsena rudati chiram pita pita. Vimochitam maha sahajna vibhu. Tayevanatena muhu vipadganat. Yatha Hrishikesha kalena devaki. Kamsena rudati chiram suchapita. Vimochitam mahcha matmaja vibhu. Tayevanatena muhu vipadganat. Yatha Hrishikesha kalena devaki. Sena rudati chiram suchapita. Vimochitam mahcha sahatmaja vibhu. Tayevanatena muhu vipadganat. Yatha, as it were, Rishikesh, the master of the senses, Kalena, by the envious, Devaki, Devaki, the mother of Sri Krishna, Kamsena, by King Kamsa, Urudha, imprisoned, Atichiram, for a long time, Suchapita, distressed, Vimochita, released, Ahamcha, also myself, Saha Atmaja, along with my children, Vibhu, O Great One, Twaya Eva, by your Lordship, Natena, as the protector, Muhu, constantly, Vipadganat, from a series of dangers. Translation: O Hrishikesh, master of the senses and lord of lords, you have released your mother Devaki, who was long imprisoned and distressed by the envious King Kamsa, and me and my children from a series of constant dangers. Please repeat. O Hrishikesh, master of the senses, O Lord of lords, You have released your mother, Devaki, who was long imprisoned and distressed by the envious King Kamsa, and me and my children from a series of constant dangers. Purport. Devaki, the mother of Krishna and the sister of King Kamsa, was put into prison along with her husband Vasudeva because the envious king was afraid of being killed by Devaki's 8th son, who was Krishna. He killed all the sons of Devaki who were born before Krishna. How many sons did he kill? 6, yes. Why only 6? 6 and 1 equals 7, not 8. And there were 8 sons. 8 sons? Why is there only 6? Where's the other one? Balaram, yes, they thought it was what they call a miscarriage. But actually Balaram disappeared from the womb of Devaki and went to the womb of Rohini in a very mysterious way. But Krishna escaped the danger of child slaughter because he was transferred to the house of Nanda Maharaj, Lord Krishna's foster father. Kunti Devi, along with her children, was also saved from a series of dangers. But Kunti Devi was shown far more favor because Lord Krishna did not save the other children of Devaki, whereas he saved the children of Kunti Devi. This was done because Devaki's husband Vasudeva was living, whereas Kunti Devi was a widow, and there was none to help her except Krishna. The conclusion is, please listen to this, it's very important. The conclusion is that Krishna endows more favor to a devotee who is in greater dangers. Sometimes he puts his pure devotees in such dangers because in that condition of helplessness, the devotee becomes more attached to the Lord. The more the attachment is there for the Lord, the more success is there for the devotee. Om Agyana Timirhandasya Gyana Gyana Salakaya Chakshu Unmilitam Jaina Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. So we're continuing on and we'll come back to this. So the next verse, text 24, Kunti Devi gives a list of the dangerous situations she faced. And if you think of them, none of them you would like. My dear Lord, she says, your Lordship has protected us from poisoned cake. Just imagine if somebody brought you some Mahaprasad, said, please take this is straight from the deities, and they put poison in it. And you're going to take that poisonous cake and die. Protected us from a poisoned cake, from a great fire, a huge fire, when your house is on fire, terrible experience. From cannibals, man eating terrible people, from the vicious assembly. Who was the vicious assembly? What was that? Draupadi, yes. Protection there as well. And from sufferings during our exile in the forest, and from the battle. Eventually, through all those difficulties, it still culminated in complete and utter destruction of the whole dynasty. And from the battle where great generals fought, you protected us. And now you have saved us from the weapon of Asuvatama. Because what has just occurred in the Leela of Kunti Devi is that after killing Draupadi's 5 children, her grandchildren, beheading them in the night. Can you imagine coming in? We can't, it's too horrific. And finding 5 bodies and the heads are decapitated. And they're your children or your grandchildren. And the horror of that. So this was one of the things that she had to endure. And then after that, after the great battle, she and all the ladies who were the queens of Dhritarashtra's sons, they all loosened their hair completely. Nowadays, ladies loosen their hair very vulgarly. Anyway, you see, loose hair. But in Vedic culture, the hair was always tied up because there's a culture there. So the loose hair means that the husband has died. And now no longer are they followed. Now they're no longer protected. Now they've lost everything. So Srila Prabhupada taught us these things. And he taught even to the Indian ladies, because nowadays the Indian Matajis have lost their common sense and they all loosen their hair. And Srila Prabhupada would tell us, don't loosen your hair, it's not good for your husband. So be careful. And if you don't have a husband and you're loosening your hair, it's not good for you. But here they were, all with loosened hair, because in that vicious assembly, Dushashan had he grabbed Draupadi by her hair. And when she left in exile for the forest, after the Pandavas had lost everything, Kunti was not allowed to go. She stayed with Vidura on the second time they went to the forest. And Draupadi left with her hair loose, as if to say, I will not tie up my hair until every one of your wives' hair is also loosened, meaning that all of you are going to die for what you have just done. So Kunti Devi had to see all these things. She had to endure and live through them. And ultimately then Asvatthama, after he had killed all her grandchildren, he decided, Krishna caught him with Arjuna, and then Arjuna, at the request of Draupadi, didn't kill him because he's the son of their guru, teacher, didn't want to see his mother crying like she was crying. And then he was humiliated, and he sent 6 astras to destroy the 5 Pandavas and the embryo in the womb of Uttara. That this was the last of so many difficulties. And Krishna himself, although he'd promised he would not take up a weapon in the battle, he took up his weapon because, you could say, as Prabhupada would say, Krishna was not a dry moralist. A moralist means somebody who, I've made a promise and under no circumstances will I break my promise. Even Yudhisthira is chastised for being a moralist. But Krishna took the higher point. These are my devotees and they're in great danger. So he immediately took up his Brahmastra and he neutralized all of his chakra and neutralized all of these Brahmastras. So Kunti has seen these horrible things happen. She's experienced them. And yet she says in the next verse, text 25, I wish that all those calamities, horrible things, I wish they would happen again and again, so that I could see you again and again. For seeing you means that we will no longer see repeated birth and death. So you can think for a moment what she's asking. And therefore this particular prayer of Queen Kunti's is often kind of put aside a little bit by devotees because they'll feel a little uncomfortable with it. Because when we pray, when we're in difficulty, quite naturally we pray, please remove the difficulty. Please remove the difficulty that I'm experiencing. And Kunti is doing the exact opposite. She's saying, let the difficulties come. But she's not saying, let the difficulties come because I don't mind, I like difficult situations. She's not saying that. She's saying, I want you to be there with me. I want to feel your presence. And as Prabhupada said, Srila Prabhupada said in the last part of the previous verse, the conclusion is that Krishna endows more favor to a devotee who is in greater dangers. So does that mean that we should go out and we should walk home in the middle of the road just in case a car knocks us over? We'd be in great danger. We should create some dangerous situation so that Krishna would endow more favors upon us? What do you think? Is that a good idea? We should jump off the pier here into the water. We don't know how to swim and Krishna will come and save us? No. Because what Kunti is doing is she's trying to serve. And these difficulties are coming upon her as a result of her trying to serve, rather than as a result of her just going out and doing foolish things. Nowadays people like to do foolish things, right? They like to jump out of aeroplanes with a parachute. And they like to jump off the edge of a cliff with a rope. And they like to feel that this is really dangerous. But they don't think when they jump out of with the parachute, perhaps many of them don't think, I'm doing this as a service to God. And perhaps as I'm doing this in a mood of service to God, He will protect me. Perhaps they don't think like that. They think this is an adventure. And I'll have an adventure and I'll be fine. So we have to recognize this very important principle of danger that comes about as a result of a mood of service, as a different principle than danger comes about because I like to do daring things. One of them, you take it on yourself. You take your responsibility. I like to do these things. I like to walk in front of a car and then run because the car almost hit me. It's fun. But no, this is not the principle here. The principle here is trying always to serve. So, just a second. Some extra notes from our book Healing Prayers on these particular verses. So generally those who are distressed, needy, intelligent, or inquisitive, distressed, needy, intelligent, or inquisitive, and who have performed good deeds, pious activities, or worship, they begin to worship the Lord. If they're what? What did I say? Distressed, needy, intelligent, inquisitive. Again, distressed, needy, intelligent, inquisitive. And where do we learn about that? Huh? Which verse? There we go. Okay, so others who are thriving on misdeeds only, regardless of status, cannot approach the Supreme due to being misled by the illusory energy. And therefore, for a pious person, if there is some clarity, there's some clarity in our mind, there is no other alternative than to take shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord. Constantly remembering the lotus feet of the Lord, what does it mean? If you constantly remember the lotus feet of the Lord, what does it mean? What was that? You never forget, yes? What is the effect of constantly remembering the lotus feet of the Lord? You become fearless, yes, and then? Yes, you can continue your service without disturbance or distraction, and then? Attachment to Krishna, yes? Your love increases, yes, and then? You want to serve him more, and then? Yes, yes. Constantly, you're all correct. Constantly remembering the lotus feet of the Lord means preparing for liberation from birth and death. I'm going to be free soon. I'm going to be free from birth and death. So it's very important for us to understand the inconvenience and the unnatural nature of birth and death for ourselves or for any living being. Because we by nature are eternal. And so this body, it's somewhat like a machine. And it goes for a certain amount of time and it runs down possibly, wears out possibly. And at some point, then it terminates its value. And we're obliged to move to another one. And the difficulty comes also because along with this machine, we usually get a mother and a father, perhaps a husband, perhaps children, and so forth. And we develop attachments for all these family members. And each lifetime we think that this is the only lifetime we've had. Because if we could remember all the hundreds of lifetimes we had, we'd have a very split personality. We really wouldn't be able to have any identity. And so therefore it's removed from our memory what has gone before, and we think, this is my life, these are my family members, they mean everything to me, I couldn't live without them, and then they die, or you die, or you all die, they die and you die. And you start it again. You do it again, you do it again, you do it again. So this repetition of birth and death, birth and death, birth and death, is something that's not actually pleasing to the soul. We might feel some pleasure from the experience within our life, but if we do, then we don't feel happiness when we have to leave and leave everything behind. So this concept of liberation is very deeply ingrained, particularly in the Indian culture, Indian spiritual culture, but in a more vague form it's there in every religion. That the purpose of what you're doing is to come to some eternal status where I no longer have to have this troublesome, repetitious pain, birth, death, pain, birth and death. So remembering Krishna's lotus feet, the first thing it means is that you can stop this cycle. What else does it mean? You can get to see Krishna. Yes. And what does that mean? No, we're finished with birth and death. Birth and death is all over already. Now what? How do we engage in service? That's over already. We've surrendered. We're now finished with birth and death. Now what? A great festival begins. Actually, what actually happens now is that I proceed towards the service of the deity form or the form of the Lord who I have meditated on throughout my life. Now real service begins, because now I have an eternal, imperishable body with which I can offer service constantly. So for us, we're not so much emphasis on liberation, obviously, because liberation is like, we're all imprisoned, and someone comes and says, I can let you out of prison. You'll feel so grateful, because nobody wants to be in prison. But what do we do when we go outside the door? What do we do when we get out of prison? This is very important for all devotees to meditate upon. Because unless we meditate upon what we're not doing now, that is actually what we should be doing now, we won't have very much impetus. A little impetus. We get through the day, the next day, and so on. But actually, Kunti Devi's impetus is so intent. She's so focused on just that she wants to serve and be with Krishna. So how are we going to get to that point? That's a big question. That's a big, big question. And the answer given by Sanatana Goswami in his Brihad Bhagavatamrita is that if you want to remove fear or even respect, untrusting, distrust and shame and these various qualities, the way you do it is by meditating upon transcendental reality. Transcendental reality. And if we have access, as we do, to transcendental reality through the different literatures that Srila Prabhupada has given us, then that has to be our impetus to go there. And I think we all know that that's not easy, because we've got more than one foot here in the material world. And so transcendental reality feels a little like fairy stories to us. And we have, financial questions and this question and that question, and well, are we going to sit down and read some Krishna book? And the answer is, one day we should come to that point. So let's continue. This material world is certified by the Lord in Bhagavad Gita as a dangerous place, full of calamities. And less intelligent persons prepare plans to adjust to these calamities without knowing that the nature of this place is itself full of calamities. So when something goes wrong, rather than thinking, why did that happen to me? How come I get such a difficult life? An advanced devotee thinks, this place is full of calamities. It could happen any time to anyone. And so somehow or another it's my turn. They have no information, others, not ourselves, have no information of the abode of the Lord, which is full of bliss and without any trace of calamity. So the duty, Prabhupada says, the duty of the sane person. So are we sane or are we crazy? We can ask ourselves, am I sane or am I crazy? And if I can say, I'm a little bit sane because I've met Srila Prabhupada's teachings and I'm taking some shelter of chanting and I'm gradually understanding things, so I'm a little bit sane, then Prabhupada says it's the duty of the sane person to be undisturbed by worldly calamities which are sure to happen in all circumstances. Suffering all sorts of unavoidable misfortunes, one should make progress in spiritual realization, because that is the mission of human life. The spirit soul is transcendental to all material calamities, and therefore the so-called calamities are called, listen to this, Prabhupada says, the so-called calamities are called false. This is very interesting because we're living in a world where everybody's trying to solve their calamitous situations through psychology, through social work, through so many different ways. People are trying their best to remove people's calamities. And here's Srila Prabhupada saying, all your calamities are false. So how do you feel? He's kind of undervalued your problems. He's saying your problem doesn't exist, and you're thinking, oh yes it does. So he says, a man may see a tiger swallowing him in a dream, and he may cry because of this calamity. But actually, there is no tiger and there is no suffering. It is simply a case of dreams. In the same way, all calamities of life are said to be dreams. How are we going to get to this perspective? Isn't that a valuable question? How am I going to get to the point where I can see difficulties, difficult situations, as being actually illusory? Because I'm aware of who I really am. And I'm aware of what is real and what is not real. And so a calamity that's this big is going to become this big. It's going to become this big because I'm aware, I'm awake. Or am I going to be happy just to stay asleep? I'm a sleepy devotee. I sleep and dream. Or do you want to wake up? If someone is lucky enough to get in contact with the Lord by devotional service, Srila Prabhupada says, it is all gain. Contact with the Lord by any one of the 9 devotional services is always a forward step on the path of going back to Godhead. It's a forward step. And Srila Prabhupada exemplified that. If you look at any video of Srila Prabhupada walking, does he look at the ground before him? He doesn't even look at the ground before him. You know, an elderly man, he's got to be very careful. He might trip. There might be a step. He misses the step. He'll fall, break a bone. He'll be in hospital. Srila Prabhupada had his head like this. Back, his head was proud, and he walked, and he didn't look at the ground. How can you do that? No ordinary humble person can do that. And it wasn't pride or expertise, you know, he's a very healthy person, because he lived in this reality, that Krishna is reality, Krishna is real, I am real, and this isn't me. One time I was speaking to a very elderly Vaishnava who was very serious, and I said to him, because I was trying to understand something, I said, so where am I now in my Krishna consciousness? And he said to me, you're nowhere. I said, I can't be nowhere. He said, you're nowhere. I said, no, but I can't be nowhere. I mean, I'm here. I can't be nowhere. How can I tell people they're nowhere? He said, you're nowhere. And then I got more flustered. And then I said, but I'm sitting here and I'm seeing you. And he stopped for a minute and he said, quite wrong. And that was all he said. And it reminded me of Srila Prabhupada's firmness. Quite wrong. You're quite wrong when you say you're seeing me. You're not seeing me. So I'm sitting here and I'm looking at all of you and I'm not seeing you. I'm seeing your bodies. Just as I'm seeing your clothes, I'm seeing different colors, different chadas, different dhotis and so on. But I'm also not seeing you within the clothes. So how serious do we want to be about Krishna consciousness? How serious do we want to be? Now, I would like to read you something. I tried to put this into This is part of this book, Healing Prayers, by Bhaktivedanta Maharaj, where he speaks specifically about this verse. And he's sharing with us, and I've modified it, he's sharing a perspective by another religious tradition. So I've changed it a little bit to help it to come closer to ourselves. But what he's saying is, this is how, perhaps, you might think, how Krishna is seeing us. We're seeing him, and we see he's like a figure. He doesn't speak. He's very beautiful. He's decorated very wonderfully. He doesn't interact with us. We don't hear him. And then we come in here and we talk to him. If we're fortunate, we tell him our problems and we ask him to get rid of them. Not like Kunti. We say, please get rid of all these things. I've got an exam coming up and I'm worried, and so on and so on and so on. But this is like if he could speak to you. And he says, have you ever thought that everything that concerns you also concerns me? You are precious in my eyes, and I love you. For this reason, it is a special joy for me to train you. When temptations or difficulties come upon you, I want you to know that this was from me. This was from me. The next time you're in a difficult situation, mentally, physically, this was from me. I am your master, and the circumstances of your life are in my hands. You did not end up in this position, whatever it may be, by chance. It is precisely the position I have appointed for you. Did you not sometimes pray to me for humility? I have placed you exactly in the situation that will teach you this. Both the environment and those around you are performing according to my will. Do you have financial difficulties? Are you barely able to survive? Know that this is from me. You have made plans and you have your goals and you want me to bless them. But I want you to learn to leave it all to me. I want to guide the circumstances of your life. When unexpected failures overcome your heart, that too is from me. I want to teach you the most deep thoughts and lessons. I want to teach you the most deep thoughts and lessons so that you can serve me. I want to teach you, and this is everyone, I want to teach you that you are nothing. You are nothing without me. I want to teach you that you are nothing without me. So I will be your guide and teacher to help you remember that every difficulty, every offensive word someone may say to you, or every obstacle to your efforts which may create frustration, is from me. Constant reflection on this mood of loving justice is the sadhana to develop gratitude and to grasp the essence of Kunti Devi's loving prayer. Kunti and the Pandavas' love allowed them to realize gratitude and to thank Krishna for his love, which they recognized in the greatest calamities. So is this not very powerful? When I read this, it made me stop and read it again and again. If anyone wants, I can arrange a copy of it, because it's so powerful. Because immediately my mind returns to, oh, what about this and that, and why did they do this, and how come that happened, and so on, and so on, and so on. And no training takes place, because there's no recognition that I'm a servant, and I'm being trained by these challenges when they come. And I'm being trained to take shelter in every situation, and learn how to become a genuine servant of Krishna. So there's a powerful prayer here. O Krishna, teacher of the entire world, you generously sent difficulties and trials into my life. They turned into my greatest treasure, for they have freed me from illusory hopes of material happiness, and they've allowed me to focus on you. They have healed me from blindness and helped me to see you behind everything. My heart is cleansed, and the mirage of material existence has vanished, and therefore I ask you to please send these tests again and again. Now that's a very advanced prayer, and I don't know if anyone can pick it up, and if you can, all glories to you. But it's a distance away, but it's a direction that we should aim towards as devotees. We've been given by Srila Prabhupada this life, this opportunity, and a very serious, very, very serious responsibility. One time Srila Prabhupada said that all the impersonalism that now flourishes in India like a garden full of weeds, all the impersonalism can be blamed upon the Gaudiya Math. Because Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati gave them the truth, and they were supposed to travel everywhere and preach and cut down those weeds. And instead they quarreled with each other, and they fought with each other, and got caught up with petty things like properties and money and power and management and all kinds of things that were meant to be just simple. They became absorbed in those things, and they didn't preach, and they didn't give his message. They didn't distribute it. And I'm sure that if you were to ask Srila Prabhupada and he was to speak to us now, he would encourage us in the same way. That the madness of the world has something to do with us. If we don't become serious, committed, deeply, serious devotees beyond the family and the quarrels and everything else that goes on as a normal part of miserable material life, if we don't step beyond that, what have we got to show the rest of the world? And who else is teaching this level of consciousness? Very, very, very rare people are trying and aiming their life in this direction. So Kunti Devi's prayer is a heavy one. It's a super heavy one, but it's not a heavy one for her. On her level of advancement, that's how she feels. Let those troubles and difficulties come again and again and again, because by them, I have always had you near. You've always been there. And I'm so grateful for your company, your protection, your care, that if this is the way that I have to get this association with you, so be it. So let us all take Kunti's mood and try and do something with it. Try and develop some gratitude as our sadhana, and try to see mercy in the most difficult situations. If anyone has any questions, please share them with us. Thank you. Hare Krishna. We should come to the Bhagavatam class hoping to have ourselves shaken, shook up. We should leave like that. Even if the speaker is an inexperienced person who doesn't know very much, we should come looking for something that's going to topple our apathy and our lethargy, which easily settles upon us. Yes.
What you were saying was reminding me of, I recently heard Srila Prabhupada speaking to a reporter. I think he was in India. And there was a blackout because there's going to be a war between India and Pakistan. And the reporter was asking, aren't you scared about the war? And Srila Prabhupada said, but you're not concerned about the problem of death. Death will happen at any time. And the way Srila Prabhupada was talking, he was saying that you're concerned about this bomb, you're concerned about the president of Pakistan. Why don't you pray to Krishna? The real problem is death.
Yes.
And I was hearing this and I wasn't able to fully appreciate it because there's a potential war, there's a blackout, there are bombs coming. And Srila Prabhupada was saying the real problem is death. Like, it's why you're so concerned about this bomb. Would you be able to elaborate on that?
Well, I think a lot of people, I know for myself, I don't remember my previous death. But I do remember what it's like to be in pain, and I remember what it's like to be in hospital, have an injury of some kind, and so forth. So when you hear about a bomb, it's not only death that comes to our minds, but it's any injury or any destruction. And also, of course, because we're very attached naturally to our environment, we don't want to lose any assets. There's so many thoughts there. So we would maybe look and think, that's simplistic, just death. But if you analyze each of our fears, you'd see they're coming in a funnel, and the funnel is going down, and the bottom of the funnel is death. And there's a difference between a cup and a funnel. Everything that goes into that funnel is going to go out the end. Right? A cup is going to hold something. So you can put your things in a cup. If you put it in a funnel, you're going to lose it. So everything is funneling to death. Every inconvenience, every fear that we have is going to end up there. So what Srila Prabhupada is pointing out is that every day you're facing death. The potential to die is there at any time. I think we heard, I don't know, I assume everybody here heard about a devotee in America who was driving on the road just at 2:30 in the afternoon, going somewhere, and then dead, instantly dead, and had many services that they were taking care of and so forth. So Krishna didn't say, oh, this is a really important devotee, he's doing so much for the world, let him not die. So that makes us a little nervous, that, well, I'm not doing very much, and if he, maybe I'm also, and that wakes us up a little bit, that, oh, we're all in that boat. It can happen at any time. But because it hasn't happened yet, I feel quite comfortable. But when that time comes, it will come, and it must come for everyone. So Srila Prabhupada put his finger on this over and over and over again. Death. Death will spoil everything. Death is final. Death is very uncomfortable. For the person who's dying, death is very uncomfortable, and even more uncomfortable for the dependents, because they're not expecting that their uncle, their auntie, their child, their mother is going to die. And the example that we see is of Narada Muni, who's on that platform of transcendental knowledge. So his mother dies, he's a child, and his mother dies, and he has no one else to take care of him. And what does he do? What does he do, Sweta?
He starts walking and he follows the practices of the Bhaktivedanta.
Yeah. He just goes walking, and wherever he goes, and meanwhile inside he's chanting and meditating on the Lord. So we're not so equipped for that yet. We don't know how many lifetimes it's going to take before we're going to be equipped like that for death. So Prabhupada would always bring it back to this point. You're going to die. You're going to die. Everyone here is going to die. Aren't you interested in that? Isn't that relevant? And we're like, really? Until it happens, until someone sitting next to you dies, and then you suddenly feel like, ooh, this is a bit scary. That's a little close. But it's every one of us have to go through this. And that's one of the reasons why this is not considered, this world, the material world, is not considered a happy place. We're trying to squeeze so much into a life. You know, we want to have our children, we want our children to get married, we want them to get a good job, we want this, we want that, and blah, 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 blah. Stuff it all into a life. But it's like a capsule, and then it's gone. You want to do it again, and again, and again. How many times? How many times have we done it before, and when are we going to become tired of it? And ask, is there anything else? Is there anything beyond materialistic life in a body? So Prabhupada lived in that reality, right? He lived in that reality. One time he was in an airport, and he was looking around, and he was with Upendra. Upendra was a lovely person, but he was quite fickle-minded as a devotee. He was kind of young and restless, and so sometimes he would be kind of distracted. And Prabhupada was sitting with him in an airport, and he said to Upendra, "Look around, what do you see?" And Upendra looked around and saw all kinds of interesting things. I see this and something else. And Prabhupada looked at him and said, "I see only flapping dead bodies." Flapping dead bodies. And sometimes for me when I'm in an airport, I try and think, flapping dead bodies. I can't see it. I look at, oh, she's wearing that. Oh, that looks interesting. Oh, there's something to eat. But Prabhupada was looking at flapping dead bodies, because he knew who we really are, and we don't know who we really are, and the body will die. So Prabhupada was grave, in a sense. It's sort of no fun when you're young to hear from somebody grave, because they ground you before you've had any fun in life. But for Narada Muni, at 5 years of age, he was ready to be grounded by truth. Thank you. Yes.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you for the nice class. Mataji, you mentioned that devotees should develop a mood of helplessness in front of Krishna. But sometimes too many problems obviously make us helpless. And then too much helplessness leads us to hopelessness. So Mataji, how do we understand whether we have put our best effort and now versus when we're falling short of our effort? And
That's a very good question. So too much helplessness leads to hopelessness. Yeah, this is true. Especially if the helplessness doesn't turn towards somebody who can help us. So if I'm helpless, it means I don't have the ability myself, right? But I can find somebody who can help me, and then from them I can learn something. Yes, just like if you don't know how to cook something, and then you can find somebody who knows how to cook that. So when you look at cooking that, you're helpless. You can't do it. But then when somebody says, I can help you to cook that, now watch me, pay attention, and I'll teach you, then next time you can cook it. Does that make you hopeless? No, exactly. That makes you hopeful, because you found somebody who helped you when you were helpless. So that's Kunti Devi's point. Not that we should always feel helpless, but there's somebody to help us. And when we feel helpless is an opportunity to look for some help. And if we trust Krishna, we learn to trust Krishna, and we say to him, I don't know what to do right now, please help me. And then we get some inspiration. Or if somebody comes up to us and says, do you need some help? And you didn't ask them, they just came to you. You know, oh, that's my friend Krishna. He took care of that for me. And then you don't feel hopeless. You feel very light, because you feel like, oh, Krishna's real. He's really, really real. He's not just silent, standing there, and all I do is put things on him, decorate him. He's actually, he can take all that off if he wants, then he can go for a walk. He can do anything he wants. He's real. And that makes us very hopeful, and makes us also feel like we have a friend. And that makes us feel safe, even in dangerous situations. Kunti didn't feel afraid. She felt safe. So that's what we're trying to do. Does that make sense?
yes, but sometimes what happens is we become lazy and we justify that by saying, oh, we're helpless. So how do we understand whether we need to put more effort in, or versus whether we've done our best and now it's Krishna's
Well, we always try to put more effort in. Make it a general standard that we try to put more effort in. And sometimes we try, but we don't get very far because we don't have much more effort to give. And then we know, oh, that's as much effort as I have. But we always try to put in more effort, as a rule. And sometimes we can't. And then we feel hopeless, maybe for a while, until something else happens and we try again. We want to accumulate experience. We want to be able to think back that last time this happened, and so I'm going to try that. This is a good habit. So we try to remember when Krishna has helped us, so that next time we can turn to him again. We're building something. Yeah?
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Yes.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare
Thank you
Krishna.
so much. So in continuation to the question and the response you just gave, so actually sometimes what happens is we keep on trying and trying on some particular thing, and we get sort of obsessed with that, thinking that because Krishna always loves the endeavors and we should keep trying. But at some point of time, for me, actually I get confused whether this is just it and I should now focus on something else because it's not working out. Or, I mean, whether because Krishna likes to give in our best, whatever it is, and we just keep on giving it. So sometimes it gets, sometimes
Definitely.
I feel like whether Krishna is giving me a signal that, okay, focus on something else, or Krishna is asking me to do more.
Well, my thought on that is that, I'll talk about myself. There's a lack of skill involved for me in understanding when I should stop. And usually it has to do with something that I want. You know, like say I want to complete something, and I want to, secondarily I want to give it to Krishna, and I'm a little bit aware that of what's going on inside, but I don't want to stop. And so I keep pushing, and getting more and more frustrated, and justifying it with explanation. But inside of me, I know that secondarily I'm pleasing Krishna, and primarily I just don't want to stop. I want to keep going with this. So sometimes what happens when that happens is I get to a point where I say, stop. Because I'm the one who's making the situation occur. And then when I stop, I realize, oh, whew, thank you, you've stopped, I've stopped. But it's all about me, it's not about Krishna really in that sense. If it is about Krishna, then I have to keep doing this because Krishna wants it, it's clear that Krishna wants it. I seem to be able to get more strength and more encouragement to keep going, at least a little. Or, I get to a certain point where there's a threshold, and after that threshold, things start to move more positively. But I'm much more aware of moments where I don't want to stop. And secondarily, not sure what Krishna wants. But so that's, in all honesty, that's what I experience. And that's frustrating. But what to do? We learn in this way. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Yes.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you for the wonderful class. Mataji, Kunti Maharani prayed for Krishna to not go away and to have his association. Mataji, as a young person, there's so many distractions of the world which takes me all over the place. So, how to stay focused that I have to, with the objective to want Krishna and not get distracted?
The best general answer that can be given is that you need to protect the morning and the evenings, that you do something regularly, devotionally, in the mornings and the evenings. It's like a sandwich, right? Sometimes in a sandwich you have a lot of things, lots and layers of things inside, but you have something on the top and something on the bottom. So that recommendation is given, that if you can have some very focused devotional activity as best you can, according to your capacity of the present time, in those two times, morning and perhaps before you go to bed, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, half an hour, whatever, that's a protection. And then the rest of it, what's in the sandwich, that's another challenge. Not easy to say, okay, from now on I'm going to remember Krishna, but the intention has to be strengthened by those other two times when what I'm doing is directly for him. If I'm reading Krishna book, maybe I'm reading because I'm in a bad mood, but what I'm doing is I'm directly touching Krishna and his Leela, so that's a direct devotional activity. Whereas if I'm cooking in the kitchen, that's an indirect activity because I could just as easily eat it without offering it. It's not dependent on, when I cook, I'm not thinking all the time. I may be thinking this is for Krishna, I may be thinking this is for me. So it can go either way. But these direct activities that are directly related with Krishna, they're going to give us the strength so that when I cook in the kitchen, I have a sense of Krishna's presence in my life, then I can turn that indirect activity into a devotional activity. Does that make sense? Yeah. Yes.
Thank you for the class, Mataji. I was trying to reflect a little bit more about the point that you made about difficulties are false,
Yes.
are illusions. at the same time, you invited us to understand that whatever tribulation or difficulties that we encounter, we should see it as Krishna's special arrangements for us to refine our character.
Yes.
Trying to reconcile those points. At the same time, we know as practicing devotees, for every conditioned soul, the suffering that we encounter, we experience with difficulties, it's quite vivid. And it has a purpose, especially for a practicing devotee, because that enhances even the loving relationship between Krishna and his devotee.
Yes.
Opportunity for a devotee to surrender, to pray, and Krishna lovingly show his protection. And we see also, not just for a conditioned souls, it will revise the pastimes in Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. It's all the difficulties that advanced pure devotees they went through. They are going through is a source of inspiration for all of us. So how we can reconcile that our tribulations are illusory then?
Well, the first thing is, it's not only the difficulties that are illusory, everything is illusory. We're pointing to the difficulties, like if we say, there's all these things on the table, and then we say, this one here is useful. But then you might say, well, the kartals are useful as well, and this little bag is useful, and so on and so forth. They're all useful. But we're specifically talking about this particular object. So we're talking about difficulties as not real, as Prabhupada is explaining it, but the whole material world, as Kunti points this out also, it's like, we heard about this yesterday, it's like a curtain has been drawn over the real world. If I have a curtain, as we close the curtain of the deities, you can't see them, they're there. So what we're trying to understand is the difficulties aren't real, but neither are the pleasures. Neither is any of it. So then, does that make us kind of like go a little crazy and we can't deal with life? No, because then we have to have more understanding, a broader understanding. And the broader understanding is that this all belongs to Krishna anyway, and I'm here. So if a difficult situation occurs, I'm going to go to him to find out how I should deal with this situation. It's his mercy. But it's not real in the sense that the whole thing is like a drama. If you see a play, if you were watching a play, right, and the characters were doing what they were doing, and one person comes on the stage and says something, if they're very expert actors and there was a tragedy, you would cry, even though you would know with your intelligence this is a play, this is not real. But because they're so expert, they could make you cry, right? But then, if suddenly there was a fire in the theatre and the theatre is burning down, that's real. The fire is real. The play is not real. So we're trying to get back to Krishna. He's real and we're real. But this is like a play. It's going on. If we get too caught up in it, the this and the that, it doesn't mean that we don't take responsibility for things. It doesn't mean that we just dismiss it. But it means we learn the distinction between what is real and what is not real. It's apparent. The word apparent is helpful. It appears real, but it's not real. Like the actor, he's acting the part and he's moving your heart, but he's not real. If you go to the back of the stage after the performance and you want to meet the character who you saw on the stage, you won't meet that person, they don't exist. You'll meet an actor who acted that part. So this is something that it's hard for us to actually understand, that this is not real. This seems to be very real. Everybody else thinks it's real, so isn't it real? And Krishna's saying, no, it's not. So therein lies our training, that we have to actually hear Krishna's words, and then hear about what is real. There's a reality, this is a reflection. If I put on some beautiful jewelry and I look in the mirror, is that beautiful jewelry to be seen in the mirror? Can I see it in the mirror? Yes? Yeah. But is that real or is this real? So this world is like a reflection of the reality. Krishna speaks in Bhagavad Gita like the tree on the bank, and it's reflected into the water. And as we gain an understanding of the distinction between what is real and what is a reflection, we start to be able to distinguish where we should focus. You're looking at me like,
Yeah, it's trying also to understand Krishna's activities in our life.
Yes.
If we said, I totally understand and agree with you
Yes.
from the transcendental point of view, eternity point
Yes.
of view, us as a spiritual soul, that we can, in Bhagavad Gita, the descriptions of the spiritual soul, nothing can distort or hurt us in that sense. The suffering or happiness, so-called happiness or suffering that we experience is temporary. In that sense, it's non-existent.
Yes.
But at the same time, trying to understand Krishna's intervention in our life, despite of our conditional experience, because conditional soul, Krishna is directly intervening in our life. You help. Well, I like the way how you invite us to reflect that. Understand that whatever we experience is Krishna's direct intervention in our life. And that's beautiful. I personally go, wow, that's really nice meditation, active. But so how in this illusory, that's also appreciating more Krishna, because in this illusory experience of suffering, he also is intervening and he is also active. So I should understand his life, his activities, it's also irreal, it's not real, because he's real, he's active. So should I say Achintya Veda Veda Tattva in this case?
Perhaps.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
It's just
Perhaps.
trying to reflect about different levels of reality in this case. No?
Yes. I'll have to think more on this. We should talk about it later.
Sure.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Haribol Prabhu, yes.
Thank you, Mataji, so much. I'm hearing this, and please correct me. My understanding is that it is illusory or false in the sense that because this is temporary, not that it's non-existent.
Yes.
This is real,
Yeah.
but because it is short-lived and temporary, therefore it's illusory.
Yes, that's correct. That's how Srila Prabhupada explains. It's real, it's tangible, it's not your imagination, but it's temporary and always changing. And so in that sense, it's not real. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. All right, thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Śrīmad Bhāgavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaur Premanandi, Hari Hari Bo.
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Prabhupada ki jai. Ananta Kodi Vaishnava ki jai. Navacharya Sri Das Thakur. Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopal Jaya Jaya Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopal Jaya Jaya Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopal Jaya Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopal Jaya Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopal Jaya Jaya Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopal Jaya Jaya Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopal Jaya Jaya Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopal Jaya Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopal Jaya Jaya Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopal Jaya Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopal Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Dasamati Nandana Brajabara Nagara Gokula Ranjana Kana Dasamati Nandana Brajabara Nagara Gokula Ranjana Dasamati Nandana Brajabara Nagara Gokula Ranjana Kana Manahara Kaliya Damana Vidhanam Gopi Parana Dhana Madana Manahara Kaliya Damana Vidhanam Dasamati Nandana Brajabara Nagara Dasamati Nandana Brajabara Nagara Gopi Pranana Dhana Kiparana Dhana Madana Manahara Kaliya Damana Vidhana Dasamati Nandana Brajabara Nagara Amala Harinam Amya Vilasa Nabina Nagara Mara Monkey Magana Sumata Amara Harina Amya Vilata Vikina Purandara Nabina Nagara Bara Monkey Magana Sumata Dasamati Nandana Brajabara Nagara Gokula Ranjana Dasamati Nandana Brajabara Jana Parana Asurakunasana Nandaka Dhana Rakhamala Jana Parana Asurakunasana Nandaka Rakhamala Govinda Madhava Navanita Taskanam Govinda Madhava Navanita Taskanam Sundarananda Gopala Govinda Madhava Navanita Taskanam Govinda Madhava Navanita Taskanam Sundarananda Gopala Dasamati Nandana Brajabara Nagara